People are still upset about Epstein. Marjorie Taylor Greene is now out fighting on camera, saying that folks are asking her about Epstein and she has nothing to say. Candace Owens is also, she has gone berserker mode on all of this. And I also have comedian Shane Gillis talking about this as well. And at first, I was thinking about how Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell, how he wished her well in that interview a few years ago. And now we're learning that Pam Bondi and House Republicans want to interview her. And I was thinking, wow, I don't know why he would do that. I mean, I feel like Ghislaine Maxwell is going to out him. But then Donald Trump said this.
Do you support the Justice Department seeking a new interview with Ghislaine Maxwell? And did you urge the Attorney General to seek one?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
Your Deputy Attorney General is reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do. Yeah.
Do you have any concern that your Deputy Attorney General, who's your former attorney, would be conducting the interview, given your past relationship?
He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much.
I do not believe that for a second. He definitely instructed all this to happen.
It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama.
Okay, we're not talking about President Obama. We're not talking about it. But I will say that no one's buying that stuff. No one's buying that stuff. Now, I do think that if she does interview Ghislaine Maxwell, it could be a continuation of what happened with Bill Barr. You might not remember this, but when Bill Barr got wind of the Mueller report, he actually got in front of it. And so he changed the narrative of what the Mueller report was about before Mueller got to release it. And so the media was talking about the Mueller report from his perspective instead of from what the Mueller report actually said. And I totally influenced the way people saw that document. I think that's exactly what they're going to do here with Ghislaine Maxwell and any testimony she gives. But here is Candace Owens kind of understanding what's going on.
On Thursday, Trump begrudgingly ordered Pam Bondi to move a judge to unseal the grand jury testimonies related to the Epstein case. Now, I want to be clear, absolutely nothing is going to come of that, and I'll explain why. But the point here is that MAGA revolted against Trump, and we won. But the question lingers, why? Why has it come to this, right? Like, what are we doing here? What is Trump hiding? Why is he going down like this over Jeffrey Epstein? Trump is playing games. He is. I'm sorry. He is flat out playing games right now. In fact, he's doing that thing that we always felt the press was doing to Trump supporters, thinking that we're stupid. Going, okay, they don't know much about how the law works. If I just say I'm going to unseal something, then it looks like I'm acting. And then I'm going to call everybody who doesn't agree with that a troublemaker.
She's kind of slaying. I'm sorry to say it. She's kind of slaying.
He knows exactly what he's doing. What is the connection between Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump? Because clearly there is something here that gives him pause.
It's crazy. She's going full berserker mode on Donald Trump. I love it. I love it. She also said this in the same video.
Trump arranged a party at Mar-a-Lago for those young women that were involved in the Calendar Girl competition. And George Hereney claims that Epstein was the only other guest that he was told to invite to that event. Now, to be clear, it could very much be the case, in the way that Trump's describing, like people who got caught up in this, whatever it is, that people who were not aware of exactly what Jeffrey Epstein's purpose was, maybe he approaches them, he approaches Trump, he approaches people that have a business that he could hide a trafficking sort of organization in. Trump would be that kind of a person, right? You've got young women, you've got pageantry, okay? And he says, I'll give you cash, or I'll introduce you to somebody that will give you cash, inject cash, because he wants access to younger women. That's a thread here that I think would make sense, because Trump is just not clear. And sometimes even when he's presenting arguments against it, where he's saying like, oh, well, I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, he's making it seem like he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he was inappropriate. In reality, it was like a real estate deal gone wrong.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's something even I didn't think about. The fact that Trump has these pageants. Jeffrey Epstein had a vampiric-like taste for very young women, if not girls. Well, we do know girls. And so Donald Trump and him kind of had like a devil's bargain there. And of course, there is that story about Donald Trump releasing or having a fight with Epstein, but it was over real estate. I cannot believe she is saying this. And she has such a right-wing audience that the fact that she is going there means that like, of course, you're very ready to hear this information because we all know who Donald Trump is. Her audience is hook, line, and sinker, very MAGA. And this, to me, is more than anything shows that Donald Trump's in real trouble over this thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene said the same thing.
This is a serious issue. The highest volume of calls into my office have been about Epstein. People want the information.
And she's saying that in response to the fact that Mike Johnson canceled the Epstein vote. He canceled the vote when we all know that they could be releasing the files today if Donald Trump wanted to. He released the MLK files, but he's not releasing these. Oh, I wonder why. And when there actually was going to be a vote on releasing the files, Mike Johnson delayed the vote until September. So now we get to talk about it until September, which I guess, thank you for that, Mike Johnson. And here is Shane Gillis, really just laying it all out. Shane Gillis, if you don't know, is a comedian, very famous and successful. Here's what he had to say about all of this.
You can't promise the list and go, guys, what are you worried about this list we promised you guys?
I know.
Like,
It's also so funny how clearly they got the list and went, guys, who even cares? Like, they obviously the whole time leading up to it were like, fuck that, we're going to get that fucking list. And then one day they were like, what are we even talking about?
Also, you get the list and you go, me 7 times?
Me again? Son of a bitch.
I will say, when I was
Bro, that could have happened to anybody. Not on an Epstein list, but when it comes to like, I didn't do that.
Dude,
there you go.
To be fair, when I was in grade school,
I did that. Son of a bitch. I did that so many times. Dude. Everything bad that's ever happened to me, I've gone, I didn't do that.
Yeah, that is every 2-year-old that they have chocolate all over their face and they're like, oh, I didn't eat any chocolate chip cookies. It's extremely that. And anyone who is smart, anyone who's paying attention, understand what's happening, which is that Donald Trump's obviously in these files and he doesn't want to show them because he doesn't want to get caught. That's as plain as day. And like I said, Republican voters are wising up to it. And I'm going to end with this. Here are MAGA supporters saying that Trump has become the deep state and that Trump is covering up for pedophiles. They're really close to getting it because he is covering up for pedophiles, but he's most likely the pedophile.
If you were in the Oval this morning with the president before he left for Kerrville, Texas, give me your top 3 things that you would tell the president of the United States that coming from a young person in the base and a dedicated worker and follower of his that you feel he needs to do right now.
We need to enforce the laws of this country. And, like you said, Steve, there's no better question than who rules America. It's not the people. So we need to obviously have the declassification of the
You don't
Epstein
think
files.
Donald Trump is president? You would tell Donald Trump in the Oval Office that you think there's an open question with him as commander-in-chief and doing all he's doing. You would actually tell Trump you don't know, you question who rules this country?
I definitely would, because it's a blackmail ring, and anybody who wouldn't is not paying attention. Simply put, Epstein himself said that he was best friends on the stand with Donald Trump. So anybody who thought that these files were going to get just declassified because we pressured him enough or you voted harder enough is just lying to yourself, frankly.
Do you agree with a special prosecutor has to be an independent special prosecutor has to take over? Do you believe that DOJ and FBI right now, with the guys who we're all close to, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this?
No, and I'll tell you exactly why, Steve, because in 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump. But now Trump has become the deep state. The exact thing we voted him in.
Why do you say he's become the deep state?
What is more deep state than covering up for pedophiles? Why would you go to that island? Why? Tell me, why would you go to that island? Why would you go on the plane? Why his top donors? Sorry.
Okay.
Why are his top donors neighbors?
Anybody agree with that?
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like on the video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.